If you're in the market for a fat-wheeled e-bike that is a foldable fat-wheeled e-bike and you've got a budget of around about $1,100 US, then this model here, the GeForce T42, is well worth a look. The handlebars on this model fold down. It folds right in half right here in the frame, and it does have a removable battery. Now, this removable battery is 16 amp hours, the model I've got, but you can get another one slightly more expensive with a 20 amp hour battery. Now the range is up to about 80 kilometers, which of course I'll be testing out in this review. And unlike some of the other bikes around this price point, especially foldables, it has hydraulic disc brakes. They're 160 millimeter and they've got really good braking performance. So for the gears, Shimano 7-speed, pretty standard. It's the tourney, we've seen a lot of this. It does the job, the shifts are accurate, they're fine, and I haven't had any issues with it at all. It does have a screen that is quite clear, giving us all of our information there, with 5 pedal assist levels. And it does have an accelerator and a top speed of about 45 kilometers per hour if it is unlocked. What is powering it all is a rear hub motor that has 80 Newton meters of torque and outputs 750 watts maximum. So it is really quite powerful. And as you'll see later on in this review, very good at climbs. It just rockets up them with absolute ease. Brand of tires they went with are CST brands. So I see a lot of CST, I see Kenda, and then Chaoyang tires. Now they have plenty of tread to them and an off-road tread pattern. They are noisy tires, so when you're riding along, you hear a lot of road noise coming off these tires. Rolling resistance is quite poor with them. So our gears, we've got 7 speeds here, and this is Shimano, and this is their tourney, so very entry level. We do have a protector here for the derailleur, which is good when you fold the bike up to stop you from knocking it out of alignment, which would be a bit of a pain. So the welds in the frame, they are really quite good. The frame, especially where the join is here when you fold it, is especially strong. We've got this handle here, and the paint job and the finish, very good with the GeForce T42. So the bike rack, which you do have to install, by the way, it comes really well packaged up, the whole bike. You get a toolkit, the pedals, and the handlebars you need to install there. But this bike rack, once you get it all set up and put on, fits on really well, doesn't rattle about. And our mudguards, these are made out of plastic. So we have a rear tail light. Now the LEDs in this are very bright, and it's a 2-stage one. So we have the always on tail light when you turn the lights on. And as you can see now, when I apply the brake, it's even brighter there, which is really good. Now with the seat, which is quite comfortable, a lot of padding to it, we have a reflector here. What I like about the seat is it has a bit of a handle here, so when you lift the bike up and you move it around, it's quite a bit more comfortable, and I wish more brands would do this with their seats. So the front shock, this has a lockout here, as you can see, so you can keep it open, which I always keep open, and then lock it. Now according to where the grease lines are, with my now about 80 kilometers I've done, you can get around about, I've calculated, almost 3 inches or so of travel there. It is a no brand shock, and you see with the front hub there is a quick release here. The front headlight is a very common headlight that I've seen, and I know why companies use this one because it is very good. It has 4 powerful LEDs in there and some lenses, so it lights up the path ahead of me, as you can see right now. Very safe, a lot of power, and I do like the lights that come with this bike. You might be thinking, well, why have I got a key here that is in the bottom and the spare here dangling around? Now, I could probably take that off, but this key has to be in there all the time because it's locked, and that is in the on position right now. So it is a switch for the entire bike, which is good. It means when you lock it up, the battery is locked into the frame, the bike is powered off, and you're going to need this key to be able to turn it on or to remove the battery. Now, this is our locking mechanism here. There's a little safety for where you can fold it in half, and that keeps the latch down. So the latch here, you just simply need to pull that out, which is a little tough to do. You normally need 2 hands to do this. Oh, there we go, I can get it now. And you can see this is the little point there where the battery locks into place. And once you do that, you're able then to, of course, fold the bike in half. So you need to pull it and push it around, which is a bit difficult to do with me on the other side. I get on the other side of the bike here, and you can see that is how it separates, and then you pull that right around to get it into its folded state. The handlebar, of course, does come down, and this is the little security here that it does have. So this little bit of plastic It sits inside a little gap here to ensure that this is never going to drop down. Not that that would probably ever happen, but it's good peace of mind to know that that is in place there and it's really locked. So you need to just pull on this lever, it comes down, and then you're able to drop those handlebars down to the right side of the bike. Here is the bike now in its completely folded state. So I've dropped the seat post right down. That gives it even a lower profile than if it was up, of course. Now you'll notice at the front crank there is a plastic chain protector around it, and the pedals can be folded in two. Now the pedals are probably my biggest complaint of this bike, which is very minor. These are easily replaceable, of course. Now why I don't like them is they do fold in, which is fine. They just don't have a lot of grip on them. I don't find them to be of really high quality. They feel like cheap pedals to me. I'd swap them out with something with a little bit more grip to them so I don't find my feet slipping like I do with this. So they're folded up state. You see that it's a lot more compact, and this will allow you then to place the bike in the boot or the trunk of a car, and that is the handlebar there, as you see, that I've dropped right down to, just allowing you to fit it into smaller, tighter spaces. So quite compact for a fat-wheeled e-bike. And here is our battery out of the bike, so you can see it is rather large. Now this is the 16 amp hour, 768 watt hour battery, but you can get a 20 amp hour battery if you want to ride for longer distances. Then I definitely recommend you get that 20 amp hour version. The handlebar is height adjustable. There is this quick release here, so you pull that open, of course, and you can drop this handlebar up and down, which is good because a lot of other e-bikes don't have this option. The screen is a Angry brand of screen, or Angry as I like to call them, but this is definitely not one of their bikes because the quality is a lot better than that. It just seems to be the screen here. So the screen will clearly display our speed here, your pedal assist level, the battery life. You can see right now I have done 81.2 kilometers. Now if you tap on the button here on the side of the controller, you can cycle over to the odometer, which is 81. My maximum speed there, average speed, that seems to clear out every time you turn it off and back on. And then the pedal assist levels, just using this right here, you can go up to pedal assist level 5. This also does control the maximum speed. So when I'm in pedal assist level 1, maximum speed is around about 21, 22 kilometers, and then it's about 25, 26 at level 2, and it just keeps increasing right up to the maximum in pedal assist level 5. This is without the limit too, by the way. Now the screen is normally a little bit clearer. You can make it out in direct sunlight, which is what I'm recording in right now, but it's not shimmering like that when you see it in person. That's just on camera that it's shimmering, which seems to always happen with the refresh rates of these screens and my camera shutter rate. So here we have the power button. You just hold that down for a few seconds and it powers up very quickly. The same again to turn it off. Here on the side, this is the button which is dedicated to the headlights. So you just tap that to turn them on and off, and that's the mode button on the side there. Now this accelerator, be really careful with this, because if you have the pedal assist level in 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you push this, it will just take off. So you need to have it in pedal assist level 0 off, and then that is going to do nothing. We do have a horn right there, a little buzzer that's located within the front headlight. It's quite loud. I'll give you a sample of it. Great to see that G-Force have used lock grips. So many companies just cheap out on this. They don't put lock grips, and you've got those horrible grips that keep spinning around. So that's good. They stay put, they don't go anywhere. And then we've got our typical budget low-end Shimano gear selector here. So the bike has a large frame size to it. The seat post can drop down really low, catering for shorties, and up nice and high. So do check their website for information on rider heights, but I believe about 150 up to 190 centimeters for people's height there. Now I'm 184 and I've got the seat position not in the highest. It can go a little higher than this. Now the bike powers on really quickly, and I'll just show you here too that when I get on it, that there's plenty of room, ample for my knees here. As you can see, there's no way my knees are going to be striking these handlebars even when turning, and that's good. Now the handlebar height, I can raise this, but I find that in the lower position here, it does seem to be really quite good for me. So you don't need to pedal to get started. You can use the accelerator, which is on the left side there. So just pushing that now, accelerate away. And that does make life quite easy if you don't really want to exert yourself. If you don't want to work up a sweat, you can just use that. Now I've got it in pedal assist level 5 at the moment, so it's going to rocket away, and I put it onto about 2. Most of the time I've been riding now, I've done about 80 something kilometers, I use pedal assist level 2 and 3, and that keeps me around the 25 kilometer mark here for Europe. I don't want to go over that because we do have that limit here, the law with Europe. So very comfortable cruising along in bike lanes here, very smooth. And with those fat tires, they are spongy. I'm running a low PSI. I've got about 12 PSI in each tire, and that means they're quite spongy, soaking up any little bumps and things. And that front shock, it's okay. It does the job. It's better than nothing, and there's no rattling. You'll notice that there's really nothing rattles apart from maybe a few clanks, and noise could come out from that front shock just going over some rough terrain, which I will get onto shortly. The GeForce T42 is using a speed sensor, and what I found is it's very quick to react. Some different brands you'll find that it's a bit slow to react, but as soon as I start to pedal, it detects it really quickly. And you notice that when I'm riding along, you can probably hear the noise from those chunky tires. So the off-road tread pattern, especially on this surface, quite loud, but I don't mind that because people can hear you coming. It does make quite a bit of noise when you're riding along, and the faster you get, the louder these tires do get too. Bit of rough road here up ahead, so that front shock handles it, and then of course those spongy fat tires, not a problem, just soaking up all those little stones and bumps there, making this ride very comfortable and smooth, even though I don't have rear suspension. And the seat, nice and comfy too. No problems with it, plenty of padding. And what about the top speed? So if I'm using the motor, I can get up to about 45 kilometers per hour, which I won't do at the moment for legal reasons. I can't go over 25 kilometers per hour. However, if I'm not using the motor and I can pedal over what the motor's assistance is giving me, I can get up to around about 30 kilometers per hour, maybe 31 if I really push hard. So downhill here, for example. Because of the 20-inch size wheels, we are limited a little bit. Even though I'm in the top gear, the 7th gear here, it's hard to get over that 30, 31 kilometers per hour. But I think most people should be pretty comfortable cruising at that rate. So a speed bump ahead, front shock handles that just fine. And again, no rattling whatsoever from this bike, which is excellent. And here I am at my climb test point. So this is about 25-degree climb, and it's steep, the steepest I can find around here really. Gets even steeper the further I go up. So if I just pedal, in fact, no, I won't pedal, I'll use the accelerator now. And the 750 watts with 18 Newton meters of torque, look at this, effortless. It's going up this, and I'm gaining speed. I'm doing, well, around 20 kilometers per hour. Gets a little steeper right here, and it's dropped down to 19. So I'll start pedaling, and the same story. I'm in the 7th gear. I should probably be in a much lower gear, but because it's got so much power, so much torque with these climbs. So as I test it out with my other e-bikes, is what's going to happen if I just turn it off. So I'm going to turn it off now, and I need to get it into the lowest gear. It becomes pretty hard going. Now in this lowest gear, I'm finding this difficult. So it's probably a bit easier than some of the other e-bikes, like the 26-inch e-bikes are even heavier, their wheels. But still, if you're going to be doing this kind of climb without any battery left, you're in for a very difficult climb and a real good workout. And then my brake test, so I'll try and do about 30 kilometers per hour from this white post here, full-on emergency braking now. Oh, really good. Very good performance, good stopping power from the 160mm hydraulic disc brakes. Really good. Now, most other brands only use mechanical disc brakes, which don't have the same kind of pressure, and the levers don't feel as good either when you brake, but these brakes are excellent. Okay, I've just completed a big climb up to the mountains here, and I did lose 1 bar with the battery, but it was a long climb, and that's what's going to happen if you've got very steep climbs for a long distance. It's really going to hit that battery hard. So a little bit of off-roading here. The bike handles this well thanks to the fat tires, of course, giving me quite a bit of grip here. Nice and spongy, soaking up a lot of these little bumps. And that front shock, it's doing something. Occasionally I might hear a little bit of noise coming from it, but not a lot. So I have a bit of a drop down here. We'll see how the bike is going to handle that. But it should not be a problem for it at all. It's doing well, but I wouldn't take it down any trails that are any more rockier than this. And how quickly can you fold it down and just store it away? Well, I'll show you. So it's the security latch right here. You need to pull that up, pull that lever out. And I find it's easier to use my knee. So I put my knee here. You can then bend the frame and flip it around like so. Okay, that takes a couple of goes. And then just sit it up like this. Oh, I've got the stand down, which doesn't help. And then this here is remove that security, pull down on that, and the handlebar then drops right down, and the seat post, I've already dropped that down a bit. So you can see that makes it really nice and compact now. And how long did that take me? About a minute, maybe less, about 40 seconds or something. So it's very easy to do. And this is the big positive of this bike, that it can fold up, because a lot of other fat wheeled e-bikes, 20-inch ones that I review, you can't do this with them. So if you need to store it away into another area and I don't want it taking up so much space, the key reason to get this bike here. Now, I'm really loving this bike. There's so many things that they've done really right with this particular bike here. And a lot of them is down to the fact that it's got a good price point too as well for this type of bike. Around about $1,100 US. There we go, it's all set up now. It's very good considering we've got the hydraulic disc brakes, good braking performance, the fat wheels, the removable lockable battery, powerful motor, so excellent with the climb, 750 watts. A very good top speed if it's unlocked, around 45 kilometers per hour. And then the range, what is that like? So this is going to vary, of course, on your rider weight, if you're doing a lot of climbs. And if you're riding on the flat mostly, then you get the best range. And you use those lower pedal assist levels. Now, I've been using pedal assist level 3 and 2 most of the time, which is not the highest, which of course is 5. And I've been able to get 54 kilometers out of a single charge. Now, they claim you should be able to get around about 80, so it's quite a bit less, but do factor in that I've been going up a lot of steep climbs, for example, to get up here, up in the mountains. And that's where it really chews through the battery, because it's powerful. It's using a lot of wattage there, that motor, and it's got that 80 Newton meters of torque. So if you do have the version, because this is the 16 amp hour version, if you have the version with the 20 amp hour battery, then expect a much better range. And if you use pedal assist level 1, you're a lighter rider, you ride mostly on the flat, then I can easily see this getting around about 60, 65, maybe even more kilometers out of a single charge. So it's not bad at all. So for the build quality, that price, which I think is good for what is on offer, this bike comes recommended from me. The only complaint I have is super minor. You probably heard me talk about it in the video, and that is these pedals. I don't really like them. I find them, they're foldable pedals. They don't feel high quality to me, and I just slip. My feet just keep slipping off them all the time, so they're a bit annoying. I would swap these out. So it's a very easy fix, and there basically really isn't any rattling coming from this bike either. So it gets a thumbs up from me, the T42 here from G-Force. Thank you so much for watching my review.